did you write Heaven and Nirvana? What inspired you towards integrating various religious studies?
Okay. Yes. This what's first. There's the first part would be the heading would be academic. I used to complain to my wife that the current world religions books are imbalanced. That 90% of the material only deals with the mainstream dualistic aspects of the most traditions, and hardly any attention is paid to the non-dual. For example, if you take a chapter on Judaism or Christianity, for example, they'll describe the traditions in great detail. Let's take Judaism, mainstream Judaism, and you'll learn about the historical roots of Judaism and its belief in one God and the great experience at Mount Sinai, and etc. And then in that 40-page chapter describing that, there may be one page, at the most two, that's devoted to the Kabbalah, which is the mystical non-dual tradition of Judaism. So you see what I'm saying? And the same is true in Christianity and Islam. You take a chapter on Islam, they'll have 40 pages on traditional Islam and the 5 things you do to be a good member of that tradition. And then they have maybe one page on Sufism, the mystical tradition of Islam. You see what I'm saying? So I was complaining. And then Fusun said to me, stop complaining and write a book. And then I said, then I had asked the question, well, maybe somebody else has already written a book that's devoted to the non-dual traditions, where you have 48 pages on the non-dual and 2 pages on the mainstream, okay, and 48 pages on the mystical. Well, I cannot find any book anywhere that such book. I don't believe. So perhaps my book is the first non-dual textbook, even though it's half other subjects. I considered it very important to have a good introduction. The first part 1 is about 50 pages. And part 2, if you notice, there are 5 pages that are devoted to defining terms. We are so casual and careless about using the word God, spirit, soul, brain, mind, and consciousness. And what do these words mean in society? How do people use these words dualistically and non-dualistically? So I took it upon myself to try to summarize these various uses of the word. People especially have a hard time with spirit and soul and mixing them up, but that's a whole other topic we might talk about some other day. And in the last half the book is 8. I summarize 8 non-dual traditions. Judaism has Kabbalah. Christianity has its mystics, such as Meister Eckhart, Teresa Avila, etc. And Islam has the Sufis. Then we have Hinduism and Vedanta. We have Buddhism and Mahayana and Nagarjuna and Zen. And then we have the philosophical Taoism. Religious Taoism is dualistic, but philosophical Taoism is non-dual. Okay. And then there's the wonderful summary and view of the philosophy of George of Sawa, who's the founder of macrobiotics, which everybody thinks is a diet, but he's a non-dualist. And then in a very abstract way, the ultimate teachings of theosophy, I personally interpret as non-dual. That's a whole other rabbit hole we better not go into right now because of time limitations. And so I hope it's a contribution, and I do hope that some aspiring or professor or young professor or who might take up the challenge and improve my book and add other non-dual traditions to it and elaborated on it even in a more complete way, and to add a serious discussion of Western non-dual philosophers, such as Kant, Plato, Schopenhauer, etc. I think that would be a real contribution. So this, I offer my book as a first step, and take it.
And I really thank you for doing
I'm
that.
not sure I answered your question.
Well, you have answered. What I understood is
Okay.
the traditional religious books, the ratio of dualism were more and non-dualistic ratio was very, very less.
Right.
So you found that as a space to share your understanding and give some attention to the ratio which was less. And thank you for doing that, because this needs an attention. This part needs an attention. And thanks for doing that.